Just want to read a few verses today from the book of Galatians, and it's chapter number 6. The book of Galatians, chapter 6, and verse number 9 says, "And let us not be weary in well-doing, for in due season we shall reap, if we faint not. As we therefore have opportunity, let us do good unto all men, especially unto them who are of the household of faith." As we therefore have opportunity, let us do good unto all men, especially to those who are of the household of faith. The fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, long-suffering, goodness, gentleness, faith, meekness, and temperance. And the word kindness, of course, falls into that category as well. Kindness permeates so many of the aspects of the fruit of the Spirit. Goodness and love and all of those things can be marked by kindness. And it's lovely whenever you meet somebody who's kind and thoughtful and considerate. I have this little card here. Somebody sent it to me last week, and there was also a lovely, very thoughtful gift that came along with it. And I have to confess that when I read this little card, I was greatly moved, but I have to confess as well that I'm just not exactly sure who it's from. And I want to be able to say thank you to that person personally. And so if you recognize this little card, and perhaps some of the writing in it, there's a name at the bottom, and I just can't make out exactly who it is. I've gone through Facebook, I've gone through Messenger and different things to try to find out who it is, and I have to confess, and I'm sorry, I'm just not sure who it is. But they did something that was very, very, very thoughtful and very kind, and I was greatly touched by it and greatly moved by it, and I would love to be able to speak to that person and thank them personally for their kindness. So if you recognize this little card and you sent me a little gift along with it, I really, really appreciate it. And if you don't mind, if you could send me just a little message so I know who you are, so I'd like to be able to talk to you and thank you personally. It was very, very sincere and very, very thoughtful, and it really touched this heart. So thank you if you're out there. I think it's somebody that maybe listens in to the devotionals, and I do apologize if it's somebody that I know well, but I just couldn't recognize the name on the card. But God bless you nonetheless. But kindness is something that every Christian can exercise and can engage in. A kind word, a kind thought, a kind gesture can speak volumes. And I'm so thankful today for believers that I know that are kind and thoughtful and considerate. And the little chorus says that Jesus' hands were kind hands. And I've been reading recently, just starting again through Mark's Gospel and preaching on it a little bit as well. And the first things that you notice in the opening chapters of the Gospel according to Mark is the tenderness, the compassion, and the kindness of the Lord Jesus Christ. Not just to mention his deity and his power and his authority and his ability and his grace and mercy and salvation, but his tenderness, his thoughtfulness, and his kindness. And Paul here, writing to the believers at Galatia, again, just to recap, let us, as we have therefore opportunity, do good to all men. Nothing, Mr. Douglas used to say, nothing that is done for the Lord is ever lost. And a kind word, a kind thought, a kind deed, a kind gesture can be a link in a chain, perhaps in bringing some precious soul to know and love the Lord Jesus Christ. It can be a link in a chain to encouraging a believer who's got greatly discouraged or going through a hard time. It can be a link in a chain to seeing somebody restored who has fallen by the wayside. Somebody said to me a little while ago, and I couldn't help but agree with it. He said, in Northern Ireland, Christianity is a religion of words. And what he meant by that was, it's word only. But whenever the Apostle Paul was writing to one of the great churches, he says, the gospel we preached unto you came not in word only. Let's not be word only Christians, people who listen to the word, people who read the word, people who say the right things. Those things are vital, those things are critical, but a work, a deed, of kindness speaks volumes. And I just again want to thank the dear friend who sent this little card. Thank you for joining us today. We'll see you soon.